Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here today not to talk about Arsenal, not to talk about Champions League, Premier League, but the World Cup. What I'm going to be talking about is a few points. And this isn't a hate video. This is just things that I've been seeing online. So I thought it'd be great just to have a quick discussion about it and a chance to get your views. Now, you're going to want to stay because there's a lot of things that I've researched and found. Some things are controversial. Some things to me make sense. Now, again, this is not me putting down a country that's hosting the World Cup. I'm just looking at things online. I'm just trying to think as a football fan and leaving the politics out. So you're going to want to stay for this one. And if you're not already, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell because I'll constantly upload. And on top of that, I'll do a lot of watch-alongs. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to just talk about my feeling about this World Cup. Unlike the previous World Cups, I feel like this one doesn't have that oomph. You know, you can't wait for it. I don't know, maybe it's just early, but I don't feel like I'm getting that World Cup feeling. And I think it's because of, A, the timings. I think as a UK fan, obviously I'm supporting England. Some of the times that we're playing and some of the times that other matches are being played that you definitely want to see, like the Brazils, the Netherlands, the Spains, the Frances, some are at ridiculous times. So obviously that's the first thing. But again, you can't change the time zone. It is what it is. America and even South America obviously are involved with World Cups. We've seen it with Brazil years ago. And obviously we have, the USA and Mexico as well. So that's the first thing. But another thing I want to point out is a lot of things that I've been seeing online. And one thing that I've seen today, which I found very, very sad in my opinion, is a lot of traveling fans that would like to see their home country play are being rejected visas to come and view the match. And the thing that's sad about it is these fans, these passionate fans, have been paying so much money for the travel, for the actual football ticket, and just, missing out on seeing their country potentially winning the World Cup. And I think I can see the reasons why. It's obviously to do with politics. And I think growing up as a fan, the best part about football is that regardless of your political views, regardless of things that are going on around the world, football was a way to come together. And I say that because I've experienced it in my life myself. Whereas I'm walking down the road with an Arsenal shirt, I see someone else with an Arsenal shirt, and you give them the little, we got this, yeah? And I feel like, that aspect of football puts you both on a common ground. And it's not even about political views, it's race, religion, whatever. I see a fellow Arsenal fan with an Arsenal kit. It's like, I salute you, sir. Everything about him goes out the window. I don't care where he's from. I don't care what he does for work. I don't care who he hangs around with. I don't care the gender, nothing like that. It's like that common ground. And I think football is a great way to bring people together. If we look at the Arsenal parade, when I looked around and I observed, I'm like, wow, there's like people of all ages. There's, it's like a sense of community. There's a lot of, there was like a good family vibe. People were smiling, people were happy. And for some people that are not football fans, they'll probably attending. They probably felt like they were missing out on stuff. And I even had people say to me that don't like football at all one bit, you know what, I felt like I missed out on something because the parade looks so great. And I feel like the World Cup, it's a time when the whole nation comes together. And, we get to see England play, or if you're from a different country, you get to see your team play and perform in the World Cup. But things like visas are being restricted on fans. And also other things I've been reading about are, obviously we have the Iran war with America and Israel. But then that's kind of filtered down to football as well, because Iran have to train in Mexico. They'll play their match in US and have to go back on the same day. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think the Iranian team, I don't feel like they're kind of being put under the same thumb as what's going on outside of the country politically. And I think the Iranian players, are there to represent their country by playing football. They're not coming there to pose a threat. They're coming to play football. And Iran do have some, great players. We know the striker Mehdi Taremi. He's a great journeyman throughout the European leagues. He's a great player. I don't think he's coming there to show his political views. I think he just wants to bring the trophy home, just like every other team. It's not only the players that have been suffering from all the political things that are going on around the world, but even the backroom staff. Like, Iran's backroom staff are not allowed in the US. Like, what is that even about? They're there to help the players. They're there to coach the players, keep them fit, come up with a game plan, but they're not allowed in. So it's kind of, they've been given a disadvantage at this point. And it's like, when you go into the World Cup, everyone's on an equal level. But when you look at it from backroom staff being taken away, you can't train here, you have to travel. Just those little things, it's kind of like they're getting into the minds of the players. Nothing seems fair, especially for those players. Now, I'm not saying I'm an advocate for Iran. I'm, again, just looking at it from a football point of view. You kind of have to feel for them. And then I was kind of doing a bit more research for US fans. And then some things that came up were the cost to travel to a game. I think for one fan, he said just to get a train to the match will cost him $150, something that he does not have and something that he really wants to go to. He has a ticket to one of the USA games, but to get to that game is $150. There's also been a report that a Moroccan player, Zakaria El Ouhadi, has been denied, again, entry into the US to play for Morocco because of visa issues. And when I was looking back at the World Cups, I was thinking about Qatar. I was like, the build-up to Qatar, the World Cup, there was a lot of hostility around it. It's a Muslim country, very strict rules, of course. A lot of fans like to drink, but we know there was like some sort of drinking ban, because obviously it's a Muslim country where they don't drink, of course. And, there was a lot of political things as well in terms of the treatment of workers that had to build the stadiums. And, it ultimately led to a lot of political back and forth, especially a lot of journalists that came over, had conversations with the footballing board of Qatar. And even though they had the conversation to say, look, these are the questions people are asking around the world, the treatment of workers, this, that, and the other. One thing I did respect is that they sat down and they actually had, responses for the media, for the journalists, which you don't really see as often. And one thing that I gathered from that was they're trying to make this World Cup as pleasing for people as they can. And they built stadiums. Whoever came had a great time. And after the World Cup was done, there were so many great reviews about the Qatar World Cup. People kind of forgot about all the negative things. And the reason why I'm making this point is because I'm hoping that's the situation with this. I'm hoping that once the World Cup's over and done with, okay, the times, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to have eye bags like this, but you can't control the time zone. I'm hoping that the same thing happens with this World Cup. I'm hoping that once it's over, people look back and say this was a very successful World Cup. We know the Qatar World Cup produced one of the best finals you've probably ever seen. That's the best World Cup final in my opinion. I don't know about anybody else, but you want to let me know in the thoughts down below about how you feel about the final in Qatar. Was it the best one you've ever seen? I'd appreciate that. But yeah, I just feel like this World Cup, there's something, the feeling's not there. And I don't know if I'm the only fan, but from what I've been reading online, a lot of people are saying the USA should never have hosted a World Cup. They don't even care about football. Their NFL, their NBA. I don't personally believe that. I feel like every country should be given an opportunity to host a World Cup. But at the same time, don't make it difficult for fans. Don't make it difficult for players. They are there for a purpose. The purpose is to play ball. They want to go in and win something. They're not there to impose their political views, their religious views, or anything like that. Everything is about football. But when these things are happening, these US visa denials and, backroom staff being unable to come to the World Cup, it kind of sends a message that even though you're here for football, what we stand on politically will come in the way and not allow you to come in. And I understand there's a safety aspect as well. But like I was saying, that these are players that play football as a profession. These aren't just anyone from the street. They have a background. They have a clean record. They have the backing of the countries to send them and represent countries from Europe, from Africa, from South America. That just tells you they do not pose a threat. But yeah, I just thought I'd just make this video because it's something that I've kind of seen online, and I felt like I just want to know what you guys think. I just want to know if I'm the only one that, feels this way. If you don't, and you feel like I'm probably just being a bit rash, being a bit harsh, that's totally fine as well. But I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments below, because I feel like it needs to be spoken about. And I don't feel like these things are happening for no reason. But let's just hope this World Cup ends up being a memorable one. Let's hope all the political stuff is left outside. Let's just have a great time and let England bring it home for once, please, in my lifetime. Arsenal brought it home. We need England to do it as well. Till next time.